McNeil's hand inching towards a knife, a Rambo-style knife on the floor. I've noticed something new in this body cam that I haven't heard anybody else discuss. Did McNiel almost turn this simple traffic stop into a potential deadly encounter? Watch the next 5 minutes as I break down this body cam video and the threats to the officers. My name is Ross McLean. I'm a former law enforcement officer. I've done close protection for billionaires and a lot of analysis on TV and radio talking about crime. And I think I've spotted something here that I haven't really seen anybody else bring up. Watch and see what happens here and let me know what you think was going on. What if one simple choice could have changed everything in the viral William McNiel traffic stop? And that single head slap that sparked outrage? Bang! Let me explain to you why that's tactically correct and what I learned from one of the toughest cops you'll ever meet. Stick with me for the next 5 minutes and I'll explain this to you from a point of view you have not heard yet. William McNiel was in complete control of this traffic stop, just not in the way that he expected. Complying with legal, lawful orders from the police at a traffic stop is something you have to do. Otherwise, you're going to lose. It was February the 29th in Jacksonville, Florida, when a police officer saw McNiel driving without his headlights on, in the rain, and apparently without his seatbelt on, reason enough for a stop. I'm not going to go into all the long details. There's lots of them covered by other good podcasts. Officer Tatum's got them. A lot of attorneys have them out. Even some very good self-defense attorneys have them out. I'm going to focus on the head slap and what went wrong here, and how it's going to go right. When McNiel was pulled over, does a couple of bad things right off the bat. Now watch closely as the officer walks up. The first thing we see is that door pop open. Wait, that puts the police on edge. They're looking for something. Now what's interesting, look where his hand is right now. It's up near the top of his knee. Look as the hand starts to move down to his ankle. 1 foot there, kind of twists around. Look how low his hand is to the floor. That's where this Rambo-style knife was sitting. Then he brings now watch as he brings one hand up to his face so that it distracts from his hand going even lower and closer to where the knife is. Boom. He's talking, he's looking. He's trying to distract the officer to get him to look away from what he's doing with his hand. Maybe get on his mic to call the supervisor. There's the knife. That is the knife he is reaching for. He knows it's there. Watch his hand closely here. Look how close his hand gets to the knife. Now the officer at this time apparently doesn't know there's a knife there, but he knows there's something that's up. What was he contemplating at this time? What do you think? What do you think he was trying to do? Let me know in the comments. There's the knife. Watch him. His hands there. Cops hate that. He should know that, but he does that anyways. Then when he's told what the reason is, he wants to argue. You don't argue there. This isn't Judge Judy's court or anybody else's court. It's time to do what you're lawfully required to do. And he ends up what? Slamming his door, keeping his window up, locking the doors, just not complying. This sends all the wrong signals. Hey, traffic stop tip for you guys. A cop pulls you over. You're not expected to be happy about it. Cops know you're not going to be happy about it a lot of the times, especially if they're going to be giving you the ticket or dealing with you. But what you should do is you should just be polite, because one of the things you're getting is an attitude check right off the bat. Are you cooperative? Are you rude? I know when I was a cop, if someone rolled down the window, yelled at me, started calling me a pig and this and that and the other, what are you doing? You got no right. I knew, okay, you just lost all your get out of jail free cards. You just lost any discretion from me. I'm going to deal with you. That's just the fact of life. So don't fail the attitude test. Talk politely to the police officer. And hey, doesn't mean you can't have your own dash cam. You can't say, hey officer, do you mind? I do have this being recorded just for me to be safe, but what is it you need from me, officer? Know what you need to do to comply, and then you won't have these problems. Mr. McNiel did not want to comply. We find out later there's reasons for that. Knife on the floor, drugs in his pocket, suspended driver's license. Cops face this all the time. Traffic stops are the most dangerous things for cops. They drill on them all the time, especially for when they go like this, when someone doesn't want to cooperate. We all remember what Chris Rock said about getting stopped by the police.
When an officer approaches your car, be polite.
Is there a problem, officer?
And stay in your car with your hands on the wheel.
What the do?
He wasn't wrong. Now, each time McNiel failed to comply. The officers know what they're doing. They know what they're legally entitled to do. They're ramping up and going to the next stage. In fact, you can tell the reason the officer probably asked them like 5, 7 times each time, telling him you're under arrest, you're under arrest, you're under arrest, roll down your window, roll down your window, roll down your window, I'll break your window. He's doing that because when the body cam comes out and he goes to court or goes to civil court, there's going to be no doubt in anybody's mind that this man was given enough chances to comply. There was not the famous rush to judgment.
This case is about a rush to judgment.
Now let's look at the tactical things that happen as the police make their decisions to move up. You see, they've already brought in, they've blocked the car from the front, they've blocked the car from the rear. They got one officer on the passenger side for tactical reasons to look at stuff. All good, all textbook. The warning comes, they know that the window is going to get broke. And then what's going to happen next? Going to happen in rapid fashion. Now, let's just highlight a few of the problems these cops are worried about. Number one is a gun comes up all of a sudden. Hands aren't always visible on this guy. That's why they're always yelling to see the hands. Man, I remember back in the day, stopped a car once that had Ohio plates on it. The whole family in the vehicle had their hands up on the dash, the interior light on, even the little kids in the back seat. Yes, officer, what can we do for you? That's a great habit to get into if the cops pull you over. Pull over, shut the car off, interior lights on, put your window down, put your hands up on the dash and say, yes, officer. What is it you need? Makes the cop feel a whole lot easier. Lots of cops have been killed doing this. And I've sat there at times too. I had one where I was waiting to see if a gun came up. And if one did, I was ready to shoot myself. Don't think that these police aren't also ready for that. McNeil should know that. He should know that. But let's talk about the controversial head slap. Bang, the window breaks and you see the cop. Everybody at first thought, this is why it's always good to get the analysis and find out what's going on. Oh, he punched him in the head. Slow motion shows wasn't a punch, it was a head slap.
Exit the vehicle now! Exit the vehicle! Exit the vehicle!
What's the reason for that though? The reason is he has to get that car stopped, shut off, and him out safely. One of the problems with modern cars is look at where the keys usually are. They're on the far right-hand side. I know cops who died because they were reaching into cars to get the keys to turn it off, and the guy starts driving off.
Authorities say a police officer in Florida was dragged when a driver took off in the middle of a traffic stop. It happened in Port St. Lucie.
You die, you lose your life that way for something stupid over a traffic stop. Somebody kills a cop. Here's the other problem. Key fobs. He could have a key fob in his pocket that keeps the car running, whether or not there's a key in there. He could also have 2 key fobs. This has happened before, where someone else has 1 key fob on them, maybe another one in the car will still start, and the car will still go. You got to be aware of that as a copper. The seatbelt release, where is it? Way on the far side of his right hip. Now, I'm going to tell you why the head slap comes in. And I learned this from probably one of the toughest cops in the world. It's how I met him during my training. This copper's name was Jan Crayfeld with the Toronto Police, a sergeant. I didn't know who he was. He was in the back of a classroom that we had teaching self-defense. He wasn't leading the class. He was down there for other reasons. The normal instructor had to leave. And we were teaching how to get someone out of a car or how to get someone out of a seat if they don't want to cooperate. And I'm sitting there and up walks Mr. Crayfeld, who I'm going to call the gray man. Those of you who don't know what that is, you should know. Some of the most dangerous people learn how to be gray, that you don't really see them, you don't pay attention to them, you look right past them. He walked up while we were doing it, and our instructor was teaching, reach up and tickle their ear. Give their ear a little tickle. And then when the hand comes up to knock it away, you take the wrist, twist it, straighten the arm, take them out of the chair, take them out of the car. Okay, I was ready for that. But Mr. Crayfeld walks up to me, and he slaps me upside the head like this, about as hard as I've been hit in my life. I go way over like this, right out of the camera. This arm goes way up in the air. He takes it and twists every little bone in my body, all the way up into my ear. It felt like those 3 little bones in my ear were going to snap. Takes me out of the seat. Now, the reason for that, he explained, is you have to be so careful. We were talking later about it. I found out more about his life. This guy was in the French Foreign Legion. He was in the Royal Dutch Marines. He worked as a paid mercenary in Africa and as a lead bodyguard to one of the most toughest guys in Africa. Won't go into that part right now. And when he ended up passing away not too long ago, he was a 7th degree black belt in jiu-jitsu. This guy taught me, I never lived this way, I never noticed this before, that with his bare hands he could end my life. when I blink my eyes. I never feared of that before. I'm glad he taught that to me early in my career. Kept me safe, kept me alive. He said to me, Ross, here's the problem. Don't ever let anybody get their hands in here. Never let anybody get their hands in here. Eyes, into the nose, grab the lip, under the jaw, crush your larynx, punch you in the throat, poke your eyes out, scoop your eye out. He explained to me all these terrible things that could happen. So the reason for the head slap, when you're reaching into the car, think about it. You got to reach in, unlock the door, your head's right there, he's right there. You're reaching in to go get the car keys, your head's right there, his right hand is right there, up into your face, grab you, strike you, harm you, gun could come up, knife could come up, you don't know what could happen. Going for the seatbelt, same thing, into your eyes, into your mouth, rip your lip, crush your throat. Very dangerous place to be. So the trade-off for that is you want to distract the person. And the head slap, stun them for a few seconds probably, you get their head to the side. Now you notice this officer didn't follow quite as quickly on that, but that's the intent of the move. Here's some other versions of it that are taught online. You can find them. Here's one here.
What I'm looking to do is my hand here shooting in, grabbing onto the wrist for control. I want to make sure, again, he can't reach for the keys or reach for the shifter. My other hand here is coming in with a crossface. So I'm using the outside of my forearm, hitting the jawline to get his head turned. To get the angle for this right, I'm going to be kind of in this athletic stance as I come in. I'm coming in, hooking onto the wrist, turning his head.
So that head slap was justified because as an officer, when you have to lean into a car with someone who is actively resisting what you're doing and you don't know why, and it turns out there's usually a good reason why, cops weren't born yesterday, you could put your whole life at risk by exposing your face to them. In the future, comply. It's the easiest way to do it. Yes, officer, what do you need? License, ownership, insurance, you name it. Anything else you need. Then the power is all with you because the officer can only do things when you don't do something that you're legally obligated to do. Tactics matter, so does the truth. The cops have a tough job. Don't make it any tougher. Get your parking ticket, get your stuff. You get caught, you get caught. That's it. But don't escalate it. It could have turned out much, much worse for this young man. Control your choices, control the outcome. It's that simple. Remember that for yourself. If you want to see and find more analysis and breakdowns like I do here in the channel, please like, subscribe, follow, and give me your comments too. What has your experience been with the police? This is Ross McLean for the McLean Chronicles.